To start off this Call of Duty rant, well, not so much a rant, but a ramble. I would like to give a shout out to a friend of mine. Without this friend, this video probably wouldn't have happened. She gave me a free month of Xbox Game Pass, and I was able to try out Call of Duty Black Ops to see if it would even work on my PC. Very surprisingly, it did. My 1070 going strong, still apparently, but just wanted to give a shout out to that friend online. You know who you are. With that, obviously, we're talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 6 today, and Call of Duty will always be a interesting or a franchise that is full of mixed feelings because on one hand you have the you know, just kind of the repetitive nature of the game, especially since 2019 Modern Warfare. It seems like it's been the same thing over and over again, with the same stuff underneath, but just a fresh skin on top, which is very Madden NFL of them. But it's just been getting super repetitive, feeling like the same thing over and over. But on the other hand, Call of Duty is honestly a lot of fun. It scratches a very specific itch that I don't think in all of my years of playing games a game has satisfied that first person shooter itch like Call of Duty does. So that's kind of where I am stuck about the franchise because on one hand, as I said, it annoys me, it's repetitive, it's the same thing over and over. But on the other hand, it does scratch a very specific itch. Now, this ramble isn't intended to be a review, more of just an expression of how I'm feeling about the game itself. So if you like what you see, like what you hear, think about hitting that like button, commenting with your thoughts as well, and subscribing if you want to see more content like this. That out of the way, let's actually start with the zombies mode, because I'm going to be straightforward with you. Zombies is not my mode of choice. It is always a good time if you're looking for, at least for me, something pretty mindless. You just kind of run around, you shoot some zombies, you last as long as you can. I know there are objectives to go through to try to progress the story of that particular map or um, that particular zombies mode, but that's never really fascinated me. I have done my wife and I went super hard on one zombies mode, and it was the World War II version of Call of Duty, the newest one. When they have, I don't think they've done a World War II version of Call of Duty since that one. But it was nice because it was split screen. We could play it on the same TV. We would chill. We would even have friends over to play with us as we were just trying to actually beat the little story and complete all the objectives that we had. With that being said, it's not really my thing. It is a decent amount of fun if you can get some good friends to play with, but um, for me, playing solo, which is what I did for Black Ops 6, it's just kind of whatever. It's cool, and I know that they've kind of updated how some of the skins in for your guns work, where if you kill X amount of zombies, you get camo. Again, I don't really care. It's not really my mode. For the multiplayer, this is probably the thing that feels the most repetitive for me. When I always get to the multiplayer. I always try to play the campaign first, but whenever I get to the multiplayer, it just kind of feels more of the same. I always start with the first assault rifle, and I always try to grind that out to level up the gun, and usually I try to get the gold camo. It depends on how bored I get with it. But then I move on to the next gun, and it just feels like I have a roadmap in my head of how it is supposed to play out. And when I was kind of doing some notes for this script, it just kind of dawned on me when I was writing it. I was like, I am surprised that they didn't drop the battle pass yet, because it's been out at like about a month and a half at that point, and I just happened to look and launch up Call of Duty to see if they did indeed drop the season one, and there was an update, and it was the season one update. So it's just kind of this predictable thing that, while it is fun, it just feels like rinse and repeat of every multiplayer Call of Duty, like I kind of mentioned, especially since 2019 Modern Warfare. Don't get me wrong, every iteration of Call of Duty does make some tweaks, make some adjustments. Some are quicker, with a quicker time to kill, quicker movement. This is probably the quickest Call of Duty in terms of movement that I have ever seen. One welcome change that I definitely do like is the Omni movement system that they have implemented. I thought it was just some sort of marketing ploy, to be perfectly honest. I thought it was just like, oh yeah, look what you can do. You can now move in all these directions. And I was like, oh, that just seems silly. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. When you actually go to play it, it actually feels fantastic. Never realized not being able to sprint in any direction. If you're facing this way and you sprint that way, you're actually sprinting that way. And it honestly feels really good. You can dive in any direction, you can slide in any direction. It feels fantastic. Um, so definitely, if you've kind of been looking into whether you want to play this or not, it might be worth it for the movement. It's just a silly thing to say, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. The last thing, obviously, is the campaign. Now, for campaigns, I know that they have been a bit weird for a while now, and weird in a sense of people are always there's always this discourse, it seems, online and in person, to the people that I have talked to about it, just the what to do with the campaign, because obviously some people just don't touch it. If people actually bought Call of Duty just for the campaign nowadays, I would actually be very surprised, because $70 is a very expensive price tag, especially in Modern Warfare 3, the last one, where it was a subpar campaign from what I understand. I played a sliver of it, honestly, to test out to see if Call of Duty would even work on my PC. Besides the point. But for me, the Black Ops campaigns have always been more entertaining to me. And this one is pretty good. This one is a decent campaign. It's got decent moments, decent plot twists. It has all the usual, very cinematic moments that you can expect from Call of Duty. You know, the dramatic interrogations in like a CIA like interrogation room, all this stuff, dramatic, like brutal hand-to-hand combat scenes like towards the end of the campaign, just stuff that you just come to expect from a Call of Duty campaign, and how they set it up, and you just barely escape with stuff exploding all around you. Very Michael Bay, actually. But for me, my favorite campaign is actually the original Black Ops. Now, I would actually love to hear your comments about this. If you have an opinion on which campaign is the best, I would love to hear from you. The original Black Ops, I do, it is my favorite. I will just come out and say that. But I hesitate because I'm afraid that I am looking back at that campaign through rose tinted glasses. I was a very different person back then compared to who I am now, and I'm curious if that wow factor would have been there the first time I played the original Black Ops, if I played it now versus back when. Oh shoot, when did that come out? Back when I was 16, 17, somewhere in there. Um, so for me, it like the Black Ops 6 campaign is very good, and it is comparable, but didn't blow me away like the original Black Ops campaign did. Overall, Black Ops 6 is really a very good time, a fun time. Um, as I said and mentioned at the beginning, I got a free month of Xbox Game Pass for my PC, and I was able to download it and test it out, see if it actually worked before I dove head in, and it did. Xbox Game Pass is an excellent way to play this game if you are at the very least vaguely interested in it. Um, for me, I am still currently having fun playing this game when this video releases out into the internet. I am still having fun with it, but the last Call of Duty that I did officially play, officially, was actually Black Ops Cold War from, oh shoot, however many years ago that was. What was that? 2021? Regardless of which Call of Duty it actually was. I bought it for 70 bucks on PlayStation, played it for about a month and a half, then just dropped it, and I haven't played Call of Duty in years just because every release, as I mentioned, feels the same. Feels like nothing changes. The grind for it is just, it gets to be not fun. I suppose it's the simplest way to put it. It starts to almost feel like an obligation or almost a job to be able to keep up with the grind that is Call of Duty multiplayer, with unlocking the camos, and then especially when when the battle pass drops and that season 1 and season 2 stuff starts to kick in. When it stops feeling fun and feels like a grind and feels like a job, that, yeah, I just had to call it quits. And it's starting to feel like that ever so slightly. So I ended up canceling my Xbox Game Pass membership, and I have, oh, under a month now until that expires. So my general plan is to play it as much as I can while I still have access to Game Pass, and from there I will um, just let the subscription end, and that will be my end of this Call of Duty journey. If you are looking for a recommendation on whether to play this game or not, I would say you may not like this answer, but what I will say is it's really up to you on how you are feeling about the Call of Duty franchise. If you're burnt out, it's not going to change your mind. If you buy every Call of Duty, obviously you've probably already bought this Call of Duty and are currently playing it. If you're very much on the fence like I was about this game, Xbox Game Pass is an excellent choice to try it out for a lot cheaper than buying it. But this is a good place to jump in, especially if you are someone who enjoys all of the aspects of Call of Duty, including the multiplayer, including the campaign, including zombies. If you are able to find some fun, or you think that you will have fun with that because you are on the fence and you miss playing Call of Duty, and you have that Call of Duty itch that we had talked about earlier that no other game can quite satisfy, this is a good one to jump in with. The movement is a lot of fun, um, and it's obviously well polished. They know what they're doing by this point, but I would recommend, if you're on the fence, definitely a good place to jump in if you are looking for some good Call of Duty fun. If you've made it to the end of the video, I truly do appreciate it. Hitting that like button would be a big help to me. Um, and if you're curious about any sort of uh, long form Call of Duty gameplay footage, I will probably post some stuff on YouTube as well. I will post those links in the description so you can check it out. I have some for multiplayer, some for zombies, and like the first Call of Duty campaign mission. So if any of those sound interesting to you, I've posted those in the description, so you can check those out if you're interested. But with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.